Hello, good evening everybody, and welcome to round 5 of the North American Grand Prix Monday night Formula Abarth Championship, coming to you live from Barbagallo Raceway in Australia. It's going to be a real barn burner tonight, and I am joined as always by my broadcast partner Brad Maris. Brad, welcome to the show.
Boy, what a track we've got tonight, Al. I think it's going to be entertaining no matter what happens. It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, this track is quite a bull ring around here. It has very short lap times. Talking just only 7 corners, and lap times right around under 1 minute, 55, 54 seconds race pace. Should see guys dipping into the 53s, maybe even the 52s. But it doesn't seem like it races that short, though. It seems like a pretty quick circuit for given the size.
Yeah, it's wide. It's wide. There's lots of different lines to be able to take into some of the corners. I don't know. It feels pretty short to me. Those times are at about 55 seconds or so, but it's hard to say what we're going to get out of this race, Al. All I know is that it's going to be spectacular.
You see some of the guys hitting that large curving rumble strip, I guess, or very large curve at the exit of turn 7, the final corner. And that will really upset the car. We're just waiting to move over to qualifying here momentarily, and then 25 minutes of open qualifying, and then we'll be ready to go here. Kind of a couple guys not making it here tonight. Seeing our second place driver in the championship, Alex White, is not here. Very unusual for that to happen. Eiran and Mascarelli's out, and so lighter than normal grid here for this evening, Brad.
Yeah, and I suppose, you know, an extra 4 or 5 drivers added to the mix here might make things even more complicated than is already going to be, but 20 is going to be plenty exciting enough, I think, for some of these drivers. Yeah, kicking over to qualifying now, and boy, is this an important period for these guys out.
So Chris Moses quickly out of the pit lane. That's one of the benefits here of being tops in the team championship, is the team with the highest leading in the points will exit. Will have the best spot in the pit lane, I guess, right at the pit exit there. So, and then on down. The worse your team does, the closer to the pit exit you are. But let's take a quick look at this track map. Right along with Chris Moses right now. But we'll see if we can do an onboard with him. But there you see 7 corners, just 2.45 kilometers, 1.53 miles. Turn 1. Kind of a tight, very blind track, Brad. There are a lot of blind corners around here. Let's jump on board with Chris as he jumps on a hot lap. You can describe it.
Yeah, well, I'll do my best. Probably a 3rd gear corner. Looks like Chris actually dipping down to the 2nd gear here. Maybe taking that one a little wide. There are quite a few different lines that you can take around here. The corner entry is difficult to pick up, but more importantly, you see Chris come through this kind of double left apex kind of corner. It's all about being able to modulate the speed. You really just want to be at a certain speed going around some of the corners to be able to hold best momentum. This is coming off just the 2nd to last corner right here, coming through turn 6, and you see Chris actually stays out a little wide there, tries to hold momentum, and if you got decent front grip, you can manage that. I mean, they're just tricky corners, and different ways to enter them, exit, and final corner here. You can get away with some late braking there, but you certainly don't want to leave it too late because the exit does tighten up on you a little bit. That's a quick lap there by Chris Moses.
Quick lap, and quickly out to a 54.1. John Houston, 54.1 as well. Eiran Parsons, these lap times quickly falling by the wayside here as Parsons looks like he's going to try for another one. A lot of guys setting their best times there, popping up.
Yeah, this is
Parsons right now, the provisional pole 7 at the moment.
these times are going to be extremely tight, so you don't want to be making too many mistakes out there. I mean, 1/10 of a second could be the difference between pole position and third place on the grid. So, a very important qualifying session here for these guys. Got to get it just right.
Right on board with Parsons. So certainly a track that you can, seems like you can run a couple laps on the softs around here. Still maintain some grip as Nunez now jumps up to a 53.8. So these times, Parsons again with the personal best, 53.6. He's staying on it. Traffic may pose an issue here given the nature of the circuit, but so far so good as Parsons really keeping on the throttle through, I believe that was turn 4.
Yeah, well, it's a quote-unquote home race for Eiran Parsons, just about 30 miles south of this Barbagallo track, so he should know his way around here pretty well, and he's showing it. But look at those times already, extremely tight at the top.
Parsons on provisional pole, just Marty Nunez just sets provisional pole, so let's see what Parsons can do here. Catch a little bit of that curbing on exit, but you mentioned that Parsons is a native of Australia and does not live far from the circuit. As we now ride along with Mike Trussler. Joe LaCour just set a personal best 54 flat, so Trussler sitting third in the Drivers' Championship, currently 9th provisionally, not carrying any weight. First time for a couple races for Trussler not to be carrying weight.
Yeah, and he needs some type of shot in the arm here, I think, Mike Trussler. Frankly, his results have been a little lackluster here the last couple of events, so he's driven solid, well into the points, but not quite the results that he would like to have had. And Mike Trussler, of course, right up there in the Drivers' Championship.
Trying to get into the server. So.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's a surprise. So, we continue to watch Trussler. Let's see. Joe LaCour dipping into the 53s as well. So these times quickly dropping off here. As you mentioned, very, very tight up front. Joe LaCour, let's ride along with him for a couple laps. At least a lap here, a lap and a half.
Well, it doesn't take long to run too, and just I tell you, the smallest, tiniest mistake. This track is really all about carrying momentum and basically being spot on perfect. The tiniest little slip at such a high-speed track here, even though it's short, it's very high speed, just costs you tons and tons of time.
Core onto the main straight, Dave Rowley. Joe LaCour improves to a 53.8. Good enough for 6th. So Ronnie Nunez checks in with the 53.9. So Ronnie taking over for Ken Rodriguez as Ken is going to continue racing. So Ken has jumped in full time with Team TFS. Honoring Lou Mascarelli. Lou not here this evening, but it's going to be a shot in the arm for Lou.
Yeah, I would think that it would help him out quite a bit. Ronnie Nunez, whatever mojo he's got working, it works pretty well. I assume part of that is some pretty decent setup work, so I don't see any reason why Lou would not benefit from that. I'm sure, yeah, of course he will.
Stay on board with Ronnie here.
Whoa!
Ronnie. It's going to cost these guys some time if they keep moving. Just off his personal best, but let's just see something real quick here as Savoy has jumped in here, and I need to give him some weight, so stand by.
Okay, so Al's got to take care of some maintenance at the moment. Still 17 minutes left to go in this qualifying period, and that's good news for the guys that haven't turned in their best lap yet. And like I was saying, not too much of a problem with the traffic out there interfering with maybe some of the guys that were faster than some others, so no problem there. But as this session continues to go forward, that will become more and more a problem for those guys who do have a legitimate chance of getting on the pole position here. They are going to want some pretty clear racing room. Back out?
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry. So yeah, so Ronnie just set a personal best 53.4. That's Matt Taylor. Taylor having a pretty good run here tonight. 53.7. His last time by, his best is a 53.6. He finished second last week at India, carrying 15 kilograms of ballast. And put down some pretty good times here, considering the extra weight he's carrying, right?
Yeah, and I was going to mention the same thing. You're absolutely right. He does have some of that success ballast on board, so Matt Taylor is looking quite sharp here the last couple of races. I'm looking at those times 2 through 5, and they're all in the 53.6s at the moment, so all within 1/10 of a second of each other for that second spot provisionally.
Sitting 14th provisionally. John Houston. Houston was showing some good pace there in practice. He's currently in 4:53.6, just over 2/10 off provisional pole, Brad.
Yeah, good pace here, and of course had good pace there last week as well. Ran into some problems. Only took home 3 points from that race at India last week. We'll recap that. We'll get to that later. But yeah, looking very good here early in this session.
So it looked like Houston suffering a bit of understeer there through turn 6 as he comes down the hill to the sweeping right-hander and off the curbing. See if he can improve. Does not. Guys in the pit lane. Felipe Triana currently sitting 17th, has yet to set a time. And that's not going to help. So Nunez continues to lead this session with a 53.4, just under 15 minutes to go.
Yeah, as he does that, as you watch him, Aaron Parsons has dipped into the .5s himself.
So Mike Trussler just caught the end of his lap to a 53.6. So Trussler up to 6th. So wow, look at those times between Moses 6.94, 53.6.94, Trussler 53.6.95. Extremely close. And Taylor improves just a little bit more to a 53.5. He's picked up Chris Moses here. He's personal best 53.7 this session. Very wide, driving it off track.
Well, all these guys know that there's a 10th, maybe 10th and a half there somewhere. If only they could have just nailed that last corner just that much tiny bit better. They know it's there, but they're scratching absolutely for hundredths of a second around this place. Amazing.
He's taking it out of the pit lane. Here, Andres Preto, we haven't talked about him, but Preto in the 54.2, currently 10th provisionally, but Preto winner last week at India, the outstanding drive, drove a perfect race. Enough to earn him the win. And Preto does not improve, so he's going to park it.
Well, it's an important qualifying period for the guys that want to start up front and have a chance to win this race. But if you don't start right up at front, starting right at the very back might not be such a bad option. Now, I think maybe the one place you don't want to be is right smack in the middle.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, Brad, as Ronnie Nunez trying to deal with a little bit of traffic here. Nunez still out front here provisionally. Set that lap 53.4 quite pretty early in this session. Hasn't been able to improve on that. Guys around him have inched just a bit closer to his personal best, but still hanging on to that for the time being. It's about 11 minutes, a little over 11 minutes left here in this session.
Yeah, interesting watching some of these drivers, their driving lines and other things. In fact, Matt Taylor's actually only using 5 gears, so looking to eschew that, the 6th gear on the box.
Ooh, David Rowley. Right to the middle of the apex, not the best place to be.
Still 11 minutes to go for these guys. Like we've said a couple times, traffic has not been a huge issue. It certainly will be during the race, but so far pretty good for these guys.
Chris Moses on a flyer here. He's coming up on Felipe Triano. I think they might have had some contact there, actually. Yep. So Moses is going to have to back out of it. I believe Triano was on an outlet. Connor Swain currently sitting in 9th, so Swain he might be on a hot lap. He's right along the corner here for a little bit.
Yeah, suffering a little understeer through one, which led to a lot of oversteer. That push loose condition, as they say.
So here Parsons now has jumped up to provisional pole with the 53.405. So that just happened.
Oh boy.
Yeah, his teammate on a flyer here. We're on board with John Houston. So I talked about the write-up earlier today. Some big names that you have to win a race here. Moses, Parsons. Parsons had won at as Houston takes a wheel off into the gravel, but Parsons got a win taken away from him due to cuts at Hungary, so he's still looking for his first win. It's looking good for him right now, though, if he can hang on to this pole position.
Yeah, well, I think that remains. Yeah, I think that remains to be seen. I don't know if he's going to be able to hold on to it or not. I tell you, I am impressed with Gregory Myers sitting provisionally 7th, though. He kind of popped out of nowhere. Greg's also on the medium tires, so 53.7 out of Greg Myers on the mediums.
Outstanding job from Greg. Trussell just jumps up to 4th with the 53.5. Haven't talked much about Chuck Carter. Chuck back in 13th. Outside the top 10, Preto has improved, jumps up into the 53s with the 53.9. A little surprised to see Chuck not in the top 10 as Nunez now jumps up to provisional pole. Man, these guys are just trading punches here, Brent.
Yeah, finally got somebody into the 53.3 range, and now people are going to go back to the drawing board going, well, I picked up that 10th, which I thought was impossible to get in the first place. Now I got to find another one. 8 minutes to go.
We're on board with Joe LaCour. Joe LaCour, the guy who can certainly put his car up on provisional pole. Boy,
and here's Savoie. I haven't seen or heard from the guy in I don't, 93 years. You jump in running 12th at the moment.
Yeah, well, that's savoir for you. Really sneaky, that guy. Comes out of left field. Watch, you'll probably see him in the top 3 by the end of the night in qualifying here. Whether he makes it the race distance, that's a different story. But we shall see how it goes. Very good qualifier. How much time he spent in these cars? No idea. So, Joe LaCour hasn't been able to improve. Calderon back at 15. Moses now jumps up to 3rd with the 53.4, so he's got it going on. Jumps right in front of his teammate. Yes, looks like he's on an out lap. Omar Gomez currently in 16th. Montgomery Jr. has just made an appearance. A couple guys. Montgomery's got no call for tonight, as does Greatrix and Wathen. So we're on board with Eiran Parsons trying to better his time here.
Yeah, he's going to need to by about 18/100ths of a second. That's what he needs.
Down the gears. I didn't think he was going to make that, but he did, and he was not. Eiran has been takes it a bit wide. He's going for it.
Yeah, just flooring it through there and hoping it'll stick.
So Preto looking to improve. I think you know, Preto carrying 20 kilograms of success ballast.
Yeah, well, you got Matt Taylor, only 5 less kilos.
That's the point I was just going to make. I mean, albeit it's 5 kilograms more. Preto's guys could have a little more on this thing. Figure it out here late. Just about 5 minutes left here in qualifying.
Boy, that big curb coming off the final corner, so intimidating. We've seen quite a few guys now bounding over that thing.
Interesting line there from Preto going into turn 1. Shallow line compared to some of the other guys we've seen.
I suspect it's really a question of practice here for Andres. I suspect he just hasn't gotten enough.
I'll tell you what, I mean, Preto certainly was not the quickest guy last week, but in terms of strategy and consistency, he was really spot on, and that's what won the race for him last week. So don't necessarily need to put it up on pole to win. As Greg Myers bring it into the pits. Connor Swain jumps up to 10th now with a 54 flat. Moses now starting a hot lap. Wide. So you can tell these guys really pushing now, trying to get that lap in. Preto about to come to the start-finish line. And
yeah,
does not improve.
Ooh. So there shouldn't be any problem for these guys, I think, to going out for their last run. They shouldn't be able to get as many as 3 timed laps in. Shouldn't be any problems on one set of softs.
Let's jump on board now with Matt Taylor. Taylor currently in third. He just bumps his teammate. Moses down to fourth. So Taylor with the weight. Moses
10 kilograms.
Yeah, Moses carrying a little bit of weight here tonight as well. But Taylor
10, 15, and 10, all within, 55/100ths of a second to Ronnie Nunez. No weight, but so close.
Taylor really banging off that rev limiter, but yeah, a bit of a mistake there. So just about 2 minutes to go here. Trussler now checks in with the 53.6. Not good enough. Just off his personal best.
Yeah, still sitting third. Not too bad from right at the top of our drivers' standings here. Especially teammate Alex White. Don't know if he's going to be showing up tonight or not, but this is an opportunity for Mike Trussler to take the sole possession here tonight of this championship.
Sam Rolfe coming in. So I was looking at the times in practice. Sam Rolfe dipped in well into the 53s, so I'm not sure. Just getting into the race now, coming in late, so you have to start from the back. I don't think he's going to have time to get in and get out. But it's Trussell. No improvement. Teammate Triana at 17th. Connor Swain running in 10th. Running down the order here. Preto Rally just improves to a 54 flat, so he's right behind his teammate. Jaime Moore, 54.5. Parsons has parked it. Looks like, yeah, Parsons is done.
Wow.
It's going to be all Nunez, it looks like, unless someone can make something happen here. I think checkers are out. Hot laps will count. Rally now dips into the 53s with the 53.9, pushing Preto back a spot.
Yeah, Ian Jolicoeur made some late noise there. He hadn't talked about him much, but well and truly inside the top 10. Gregory Myers holding down that 7th spot still.
Houston on the flyer. Moses just took it off stage left. So Houston keeps it together.
That was close. Could have made the difference hanging that tire over the curbing, over the asphalt. No.
So that's it.
Wow.
What an incredibly close session there, Brad, as Ronnie Nunez taking provisional pole. I'm sorry, taking pole, not the provisional. He takes pole with a 53.387. Just edging out Eiran Parsons. And Taylor clipping his teammate there. Chris Moses, Taylor carrying 15 kilograms. Qualifying third. Wow, Brad.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what to say except that it was a pretty good qualified session. Not too much more for me to talk about. I think it was interesting. Kevin Savoie did finish up there. He's going to be starting 13th, so interesting. Another thing I found kind of interesting, driver Jaime Moore. Jaime Moore only qualified in the 14th spot, Al, and for a somewhat speedy driver like Jaime, that is a little strange.
Yeah, not sure what's going on with Jaime. I don't know if he's a transition to these cars. I don't know how that's doesn't seem to be going too well for him, but he'll figure it out. He'll get there. But, all right, let's take a look at the championship standings here before we got a 6-minute countdown. Well, now just about 4.5 minutes to go here. But Chris Moses currently leading overall in the Drivers' Championship, 66 points, followed by White, 64. Trussler there in third with 62. Eiran Parsons, 52 points, and Marty Eiran, 47. 2 guys in the top 5 unable to attend tonight. I'm shocked. And team championship, team formula winning. Well, this is going to be it's up to Trussell now to carry the baton. And Kevin Savoy looks like he's filling in for White. So those guys leading the team championship, 126 points. Precision Motor Racing, Moses and Taylor. Second, 115. T-Brock Dan Bam, Parsons, and John Houston with 97. Kung Fu Racing's Marty Eiran and Ian Jolikor, fourth, 64, and Sam Rolfe and Greg Myers, fifth, 47. Good to see those guys making the front page in the standings, Brad. Yeah, well, they deserve it. I mean, you know, half of life is showing up, right? Or 90% or whatever. I don't know what it is, but it's something. But it counts for a lot, right? And then once you get there, putting forth a good effort also helps too. And those guys always do that. So there you go. It's as easy as that. Now, as for this race itself, the guys that expect to win it, they're going to have good speed. I tell you what else they're going to have, Al. They're going to have good traffic skills, because that's going to be half the battle here tonight, I think, too. Not only going to have the speed, but you're going to have to be able to work that traffic better than the other guys that are hunting you down. And boy, given by those qualifying times, Alice, could be a very close fight indeed up toward the front. It's going to be interesting how the front runners, how quickly they come up to lap guys here, but we shall see. So, got about 2.5 minutes left to go here. Let's run down the start order for tonight's race. Nunez taking pole position, is going to start first. Parsons second. Matt Taylor's going to start third. Moses fourth. And Trussell's going to start third.
Yeah, well, John Houston put a good time in for 6th. Gregory Myers will take 7th. Ian Jolikor came up to 8th. Connor Swain is going to start 9th. And I do not have a 10th listed on my screen now. Right. That's because I'm an idiot and I have it still in the qualifying tab. David Rowley, of course. David Rowley starts 10th.
There you go. Brato's going to start 11th. Chuck Carter 12th. Maybe Moore 13th. Calderon's going to start 14th. Felipe Triana 15th.
Omar Gomez takes 16th. Sam Montgomery Jr. 17th. Curtis Chandler's in 18th. Looks like John Wathen's going to be 19th. Raytrix 20th. And the aforementioned Sam Rolfe starting 21st.
All right, Brad. So, any bold predictions here tonight before we get underway?
You know, I don't have a prediction at the front because I think it's a crapshoot, more or less. It's really going to be about patience and working that traffic. However, I think there are some guys who have a great opportunity tonight to move up through the standings from where they are now. And I'm thinking about guys like Sergio Calderon, okay, starting 15th, but that guy, he has been starting to keep it on track and stay out of trouble. I like to see Sergio move forward. Chuck Carter starting 12th. I like to see him move forward as well. I think it's a strong possibility, and of course we have some guys at the back. John Wathen showing some great pace. Yeah, it's hard to say, you know. And Sam Rolfe too. So those guys at the back, very consistent, know how to be able to get through a pack. NAGP veterans, and Al, I'm liking Gregory Myers. He could do something here if those guys in front run into trouble.
We got 3 guys front 2 rows who have yet to win a race. I'm predicting we're going to have another new winner here. First time winner this season tonight. So it's going to be 63 laps here tonight, 150 kilometers. We're just about an hour in time. So the lights are on. We're about to go green here from Barbagallo. Ronnie Nunez, Parsons having a look on the inside of Nunez into turn 1. They go side by side. And it's going to be Nunez holding position. Chris Moses gets ahead of his teammate, moves up to third. John Houston having a look on the inside of Taylor. Pretty clean start here from most of these guys, Brad, up front. Parsons putting some pressure on Nunez here early. That front three really keeping it tidy there. Taylor still hanging on to those guys. Ooh, big incident in the back. Can't get the camera over there. I don't know if you caught that, Brad, but we got cars off in the back. Final corner.
Felipe Triana.
Oh boy.
Jaime Moore.
Ooh, it looks like Joe LaCour just took it off. So Jaime Moore and Triana. Respects to one another. Meanwhile, up front, Parsons not letting go of Ronnie Nunez, really putting the pressure on.
Yeah, no question. And this is. It looks like he might have
a run on him.
Run here?
Yeah, into turn one. He's going to hang on to that spot.
Well, there are a lot of opportunities to take different lines into these corners. How much aggression you want to employ, though, has to be cautioned by the odds that you're going to send it off on the other side of the track. So, got to be careful when making those decisions.
Running at 9. Chuck Carter taking it off. Chuck Carter taking it off right there in turn. I believe that was turn 4. So Chuck Carter gets shuffled back to 18th. After starting from 12th. Kevin Savoy running at 10th. So Savoy off to a good start, seeing as this is his first here. Settle course of race in the Abarth. We got Watson now running in 11th. Watson, who started from the back due to a penalty, has worked his way up to the field quite nicely. Great tricks. Omar Gomez there in 14th, and on board with Joe LaCour trying to make his way past Gomez. You can see the speed difference there from Joe LaCour. Certainly he's got pace on Gomez. You have to be patient, get by these guys. Taking a look at that battle up front. It's still Parsons within a second.
Yep. Oh! Whoa! Sorry, did you catch that out?
No.
Oh, Aaron Parsons went past Ronnie Nunez after Ronnie Nunez's mistake over the big curbing there on the last turn.
Okay, well there you have it. Oh means a pass, so I got it. All right. All right. So
I'm having trouble with my cameras here, Al. I apologize. I'm trying my best.
All right, no problem. All right, so Parsons now takes over the lead. Chris Moses jumps up to second. Nunez shuffles back to third after that mistake. And, yeah, he almost did that a couple laps ago. He almost clipped the curbing. That's when Parsons saw him get that run on him. But these guys up front, especially this close battle for the lead, you have to keep it tidy there through that final corner. That's Parsons.
Well,
goes through there okay.
Yeah, and it looked like Eiran did have a bit of pace there on Ronnie. I mean, he was certainly putting a lot of pressure on him there early in this those early laps. So now Chris Moses, I think he wants to bite off a bit of Eiran Parsons.
Well, we're on board with Mike Trussler as Taylor. It's like he's coming unglued here a little bit. He's falling back to fifth with Trussler now. Putting a lot of pressure on Matt Taylor for that fifth spot.
Yeah, a bit unglued. You're absolutely right. And what a three-way battle those guys are having.
Between Taylor, Rally, and Trussell. Ooh, Trussell looks like he's going to get the pass done. Wow, nice job. Let's see if Taylor can counter. Taylor might have the legs on him here going down this back straight. Taylor taking it wide. These guys are still side by side. Now, so Trussell finally gets the pass made. However, David Rally off to a tremendous start here, running in 7th. Now going to try and put the moves on Taylor. A little bit of lag there, so a bobble there from Rally. With some ground to Trussell and Taylor. Meanwhile, now far behind those guys is Andres Preto lurking. Running in 8th, and behind him is Greg Myers. So Greg Myers, who started 7th, has been shuffled back down to 9th. Trussell with a boatload of pressure here, as is Moses. These front 3 really fighting a close battle here.
Yeah, Parsons, now that he's out front and in that clean air, will have a chance to kind of manage the pace. He'll push like hell here for a couple, 3 laps, try to get whatever gap he can, and then just try to hold that gap. And hope that Chris fades a little bit or gets into a fight with Ronnie would be even better.
Ooh, as Ronnie takes it wide. And that's going to give Houston an opportunity. Houston's going to have a run on him in the turn 7. Houston going to have a look.
Yeah, those...
Oh, and Houston, is he going to get it done? Oh, looks like Ronnie's going to hang on to it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about, those tiny mistakes and the huge momentum that you have around this track. A tiny, even a slip, having to make a correction can make a big difference in terms of speed because you're right on the edge here on these high-speed sweepers.
That's a pretty costly mistake there from Houston. He could have gotten that pass made, but just kind of cooked it a little bit going in the final corner.
Yeah, a little over-anxious.
He's got a good run on him here in the final run to the back straight. Turn 7.
Whoa!
Hangs on to that. Driving there from Houston.
Do I need to tell you what that one meant, Al?
So Brad, I'm not sure what the, I didn't get a look at the tires, but the front run, is everybody on hards or anybody elect to jump on mediums?
Well, I have no idea, but if you give me 1/2 second, I can tell you everybody is on the mediums, Al.
It's interesting.
That is interesting, isn't it? Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. We got Matt Taylor on the hards. Matt Taylor on the hards there in 7th.
Okay, so that might explain why Taylor might be suffering a bit of, suffering a little bit here. This guy is on the mediums, certainly going to have a bit more pace over Taylor on the hard. So I wonder, Taylor's strategy would probably be, I think he's going to try and opt to do what Preto did last week and really make it a long first stint and then do a short run on the mediums. Or maybe even the softs.
Lap 11. Yeah, lap 11 here, you have to figure that it's not going to be too much longer if he's on the hards where he's going to start picking up some time on the guys on the mediums. I'm frankly shocked. I never expected to see those mediums run, especially to start the race.
Yeah, well, we witnessed last week at in India, one of the guys started on hards, then pitted halfway through and took mediums. Worked out for some guys, others it did not, but looks like some guys may have figured out how to make those things last. But let's take a look further back here. Greg Myers, John Watson, Kevin Savoy, and Ian Jolicoeur. A very close battle here now for this 10th position on board with Jolicoeur. As Jolicoeur looks like he's going to get past his countryman here. A couple Canadians duking it out.
Yeah, Kevin was in 10th there, so that he has lost a couple spots from when I saw him last.
Takes it a bit wide. Whoa! Whoa! All four wheels off the ground there for Savoy. So nice recovery here for John Martin in 10th. I mentioned he started from the back row. Had to endure a no qualifying penalty for an incident. Took out his teammate last week at India. So he had to start from the back, but Joe LaCour all over his tail. On board with Joe LaCour. Not a great night for him last week at India. No, had an opportunity, I think, to run pretty well there, but setup and then some other mishaps out on track cost him. Cost him big time. Yeah, still being hounded by John Houston, so Houston doing a good job hanging onto the back of the Speedy Nunez. But I'll tell you what, Walton doing a good job holding off Joe LaCour for the time being, as Joe LaCour is going to have a look here. Yeah, it's kind of an up and under move right there. Yep. He's going to tuck behind Joe LaCour. Whoa! Oh, Houston, Walton tries to slice across the track. And man, did he lose it. A little too much input there from Houston, from Walton. And that could have been disastrous. So nice save by Walton. Now he's struggling. Sam Rolfe has called it a night, Brad.
Yeah, that's a whoa. So I'm watching here Matt Taylor. Once we learned that he was on the hards, I started putting an eyeball to him. It looks like he has started to pick up a little bit of speed. Just took the position over David Rowley. He actually spun and went off. But Matt Taylor now up to 6 as a result, and I think has started to pick up some speed on a lot of the guys out on track.
So far tonight, best lap 54.2 by Parsons. A lot of guys in the 54s. Top 5. Joe LaCour is trying to get into the 54s rally as well, but he's just made a mistake. Right there with a 55 flat, hanging onto the back of Taylor. Let's take a look at this battle as Houston just takes it off. Just picked it up, and Houston has taken it off. Not sure if he had an incident with lap car of, looks like Jaime Moore, but Houston now rejoins back in 7th. So it could have been a lot worse. Yeah, it could have been a lot worse for Houston. Go ahead.
He was shown momentarily as actually taking over that 3rd place position, so it could have been overcooking it into a corner on the inside or something and throwing it off on the other side. Don't know.
Just caught the end of it. That moves both Taylor and Breto up a position. So good job here running in 4th. So already 16 laps down. Gap between Moses and Parsons, our leader, just about 2 seconds. So both of these guys really laying it down. So Watkins under a bit of pressure here. Rally. So Rally, who had an off, is now putting a bit of pressure on John Watton for for 10th, and right behind them it's Greatrix and Connor Swain. With Greatrix going into turn 1, I think Greatrix might have the advantage here. So the two go side by side, and yep, Greatrix is going to hang on to that. Connor. Here we have Watson trying to put the moves. Oh, sorry, Rally puts the moves on Watson, so Rally gets by for 11th. Now Swain pushing the issue here, and is he going to make the pass stick? He does. So really late braking there by Connor into turn 1 gets the pass made on Greatrix. And Rally just gave up the position. So, all that hard work from Rally, all for naught, as he's got to do it all over again. But Greatrix now really carrying a lot of speed. Nearly getting in the back of Connor. See the difference in the arrow, very apparent here down the back straight as Greatrix orders past Connor Swain. These two continue to go at it here.
Yeah, and traffic quickly coming into play for these guys. This traffic, of course, will be involved in their own battles as well. So always makes it difficult working that traffic.
Bit of a moment for Connor. Oh. Keep it together, I think he does. Ooh, as looks like David Rally and Savoy have had a coming together. And both those guys take it off. And are trying to work their way back onto the racing surface. So the leaders have just gotten past them. And Savoy continues to struggle.
Oh! Yeah, that could very well be the dirt pickup on the tires. It can be quite a difficult challenge to stay on track there for 30 seconds or so after that tire pickup.
I'm going to suspect these guys going to come in right around lap 32. 132.
Well, I think it's
come to stay out later.
Maybe not with the mediums. I'm wondering if these guys aren't going to switch off the mediums early and jump onto the hards, take an early stop with the hards. I don't know. Maybe they think they can go halfway on the mediums. I'm looking at Matt Taylor, and it looks like he is picking up some time on the guys in front. So not as much as maybe it had looked at first, but still running pretty good.
Looks like Rally has got it beached. Can't get up. But yeah, Prato, he's put some distance between himself and Andres there in 6th. So looks like those hards are starting to come alive for Taylor. So Houston now starting to close the gap up a little bit on Prato. As Houston, after having that off.
It did look like Houston had some pretty good speed, a bit more speed than Andres. So I would expect that he would. And it's how odd to say Houston's looking a little stronger than Andres, but I think that's the case.
So Savoy a lap behind. Ian Jolicoeur now up to 8th. He's gotten past Greg Myers. So Savoy appears to continuing to struggle out there. Having another off-track excursion. That rally's night's over. So Houston running in 10th. Great Tricks in 11th. Survived that pressure from Connor Swain. Now Connor Swain looks like he might be coming under some pressure here from Kurt Chandler in 13th. On board with Kurt.
Curtis Chandler, you have to say it's a pretty decent run up to this point. It's been relatively strong. He, you know, hasn't made much noise, just quietly kind of gone about his business after he started with a no qualifying here tonight. Ooh.
Running side by side with Connor. Then have a look on the inside. Guys up front here running very well. So these guys in pack. Ooh, some contact between Swain and Chandler. Chandler's going to make his way past. Chandler up to 13. So a little bit of contact there between Curtis and Connor. Washed up a little bit too.
Yeah, easy. Really easy to do, though, for sure. Around this place.
Calderon running in 14th.
Nope, looks like Parsons has come into the pits, Al.
Parsons is in the pits. Nunez moves up to second. Parsons is away. He's going to rejoin in 5th. So, tire. He's jumping on the hards.
Can we have a drum roll? Aaron Parsons did go to the hards.
Alright, so short first stint on the mediums from Parsons. Comes out just ahead of Andres Prieto. Looks like Chris Moses has pitted as well. Sorry, that's Jaime Moore, but what a great start from Parsons. Picks up quite a bit of time on Moses. So, gap for Parsons increasing over Chris Moses. So, it'll be interesting here to see what Nunez elects to do. Let's try and pick him up here. Currently our leader. Makes his way through traffic. Pretty tough pit in here, parts.
Yes, it is. The exit isn't great. A little easier to manage, but you have to mind your P's and Q's on entry for sure. It's easy to carry way too much speed.
Staying out as well, so these guys still running on the mediums. This is going to be interesting to see what Taylor does. So Taylor should take over the lead once Trussler and Nunez opt to pit.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what these guys do on the hards, and unfortunately we can't really see the lap times lap to lap. But I'd be very curious to know what Aaron Parsons' lap times are now on the hards. It should make a difference, though.
Yes, he's going to stay out. Battle for 13th as Connor Swain is going to make his way past Calderon. Let's not forget this race is going to have some implications for some guys in the competition index. Very easy to finish a lap down, lap or two down here. And it is very tight up front. Competition index is the award we give out to the driver that covers the most distance in the season. Albeit it's a short track and made up, but still never good to
very good.
Never good to finish a lap down if that's what your goal is.
Yeah, very good point, Al, for sure. This another added dimension to this race, and this guy's seeking that title. It's an important one.
So Nunez staying out. Approaching, just started lap 30. On the mediums. Trussler staying on as well. Ooh, we had an incident in the back between Calderon and Connor Swain. So Breito was running in fourth. Those guys, Rally and Connor, look to be a promising night, has come apart at the seams for these guys.
Yeah, it really has. I mean, qualified well and truly inside the top 10 and has not worked out. But this is a tough track. I mean, everybody knew that it was going to be. It's a track you have to be aggressive at, but at the same time, show a lot of patience. It's a difficult track to drive fast at consistently. Having to maintain such speed around these long. Whoa, is Houston Illustrated?
Taylor's starting to pull closer to Mike Trussler, who's running in second for the moment. Trussler and Nunez still need to pit. Moses and Parsons, who are 5th and 6th.
Well, what lap are we on now? 29.
I've already hit it. Moses is starting to pick up some ground on Parsons.
So it looks like that's right. So it looks like a couple of these guys are going to go ahead and try mediums the whole way. Ronnie Nunez and Mike Trussler now almost to halfway. You got to figure they're going to swap on the mediums again. So Matt Taylor may not have gained as much ground as he needed to when he switches over to his mediums.
See what he decides to do here. At what point does he come in? I would guess this is a lap for him to come in on these mediums. Get off of him. Probably go back on mediums. Might change the strategy.
Yeah, it's a 20-second lead over virtual leader Eiran Parsons. Those guys, of course, are running relatively close. I'm not sure what the delta time is here into the pits, but that should put him in pretty good stead.
And into the pits. Some very short pit stops here.
Yeah.
Breito.
Short pit lane, short pit time.
Wathen away. Breito getting serviced.
Yeah, Wathen back onto the mediums. Interesting. I didn't see this coming. These guys taking these long medium stints.
Breito's going to come out ahead. Of John Houston. So that was... Houston has pitted. So that was a battle for position. Another great stop from Breito. Here. So Trussler is in. Nunez still out on track, working lap 34. Parsons goes by, Moses goes by. Seems like a long stop for Trussler. Very long stop.
If he's still in there, it's probably too long.
out ahead of Preto. Not by much.
Wow. So Preto, he's picked up quite a bit of time here.
Yeah, he certainly has. He had a great stop. The guy we got to keep an eye on, we mentioned it already, is Matt Taylor, who started on the hard. So his best lap, 54.9. 7/10 off the best lap of the race by Parsons, which was a 54.2.
Yeah, on the hards though, so that's why I'm so curious to know what Parsons' time is now on the hards. What kind of lap times he's running.
So interesting. Yeah, it's really stretching up these mediums. I was shocked.
Well, let's see. He hasn't given up too much ground here to Eiran Parsons, who's kind of our control on the, to the subject. So about 20 seconds that gap still to Ronnie Nunez to Eiran Parsons. So not giving up too much time out there at the moment.
So Nunez makes his way past some lap traffic. Now Trussler under some heat. As Preto has started to turn the screws here and put some pressure on Trussler.
Yeah, Houston did jump onto those hards, and obviously it's not paying dividends with him. Of course, he was ahead of that Andres Preto there before that pit stop rotation.
Preto jump on the hards, or is he on the mediums?
Andres is on the mediums.
Trussler on the hards, mediums.
Mike Trussler is on the mediums as well.
Interesting. Okay. It's a level playing field for these two guys, and it looks like Preto has got a bit of pace on Trussler. Ooh, that's not going to help.
That gap. That gap now, Ronnie Nunez to Eiran Parsons. Yeah, I know Eiran Parsons third. That's virtual lead. Has dipped now into 19.3 seconds. So that gap has come down quickly, and Ronnie Nunez now may be giving up a whole gobs of time out on track on those more tires.
To follow this battle between Trussler and Preto, this is for the 5th position. Maybe even more, as Taylor still needs to pit. This guy's going to want to lay down some serious lap times here to try and jump Taylor once he cycles through his pit stops.
Well, the guys ran well on the mediums. His teammate should be letting him know just how long he did run the mediums there that first stint. So I think if you wanted to jump on the mediums, you could do it at any time and not lose anything. The only reason I think running longer from this distance would be to try the softs.
He's still out on track. Taylor must be scratching his head. He probably seen that Nunez was on the mediums. Ooh, SF, wow. Again. Taking it wide.
Boy, Matt Taylor gaining a whole bunch of ground that last lap on Ronnie. Eiran Parsons as well. So Ronnie Nunez really needs to get off those tires.
Let's see if he heard you, Brad.
The only thing I could think is that Ronnie's going to try to run this as late as possible and take on some softs. I don't know that Matt Taylor's taking that, but I think Ronnie is.
That would be a first here, I think, in terms of the front runners running that type of strategy. But we'll see.
I can't imagine you're going to get more than. Yeah, I can't imagine you're going to get more than 7 or 8 laps out of it.
Seeing it as it is such a short circuit, you can probably double that. I mean, most average circuits probably get maybe, I don't know, 7 to 8 laps. Minute and a half, minute 45 lap time thereabouts. But
no, I was thinking 7 or 8 laps at this circuit.
Oh, okay.
No, I was thinking 7 or 8 at this circuit. Yeah.
Oh,
no, there he goes.
It's gonna have to be a perfect stop here. Ooh, have to push forward a little bit.
Yeah. Looks like it's going to be the mediums for him, so yeah, not much benefit, I don't think, staying out.
Goes by. Ooh, this is going to be close between him and Moses. Maybe not. Moses gets by. Second. So Nunez rejoins in 4th. Behind Chris Moses. So now our new leader, Matt Taylor. All alone out front. Oh, and Taylor comes in. So this is going to be interesting to see where Taylor comes out in relation to Nunez and Preto and Trussell. All 3 of those guys. Taylor away. Very short stop from Taylor. Ooh, he's going to beat Moses out of the pits. So Taylor slots into 2nd behind Parsons. What a great stop.
Well, he was holding very good pace and running those hards long. You know, he did not continue to give up that much ground to the guys who were on the hards as well, that being Aaron Parsons and Chris Moses. So now Matt Taylor, he went back to the hards. Well, I figured he would have jumped on the medium, so okay, well, interesting.
Looks like he may not have changed tires. So he's double stint in the hards, it looks like. So his teammate's going to have pace on him if that's the case.
Yeah, maybe. Unless the hards hold up an entire stint. Ronnie Nunez is on the mediums, though, so he's going to be charging on these guys.
So Moses gets past Taylor. No fight there. Yeah, unless there was a mistake on Taylor's part.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Maybe he accidentally didn't get the tires changed. Wow, and Ronnie's coming.
Ronnie is coming. So now it's Parsons, Moses, Taylor, the front 3.
Spent all that time with those guys. Yeah, that's what I was saying. All those guys behind him are on the mediums. Got to get caught up on what's happening elsewhere. So kind of intrigued by that pit lane battle by the guys up front. But yeah, Wathen's still holding down that 10th spot. Gretrick's right up there challenging for that top 10 as well. Interesting.
So Preto, it looks like he has made his way past. Well, yeah, he came out ahead of sort of Houston. But Preto and Trussell still going at it here. Looks like called the wrong lap car. Back on board with Preto as he tries to reel Trussell in here. Tiago, I'm sure you'll figure it out very quickly.
you know, Aaron Parsons to Chris Moses, that is a fight that has continued to rage. I mean, we've had all these pit stop happening, but it's still under 3 seconds there for those two guys. They're going at it tooth and nail here. And I think Chris Moses thinks he still's got a shot at this thing.
Yeah, as long as, I mean, those two guys run a very similar pace, so it's going to be tough for Moses to pick up. As Parsons does end up making a mistake. I think that's what Moses is going to have to capitalize. So, Joe LaCour running in 8th, Myers 10th. Look at this battle back here between Chuck Carter and Kurt Chandler. These guys really duking it out as Chuck now puts some pressure on Kurt. This is for 12th. Veterans going at it here.
And how? Well, I'll give you a quick update. Looks like Ronnie Nunez is now making the pass there on Matt Taylor through turn 6.
I've just picked that up, so Nunez motors his way past Taylor. So Taylor drops down to 4th. So you gotta wonder about that call on the tires. Figure that one out later on after post race. But
yeah, I gotta think it was a mistake. He didn't, for whatever reason, get a new set of tires on there. Didn't have it selected or something.
What I mean, we know there's not much to gain in terms of double stint tires, especially in these cars.
Yeah, almost nothing. Yeah. I'm sure he meant to.
Let's get back up on that battle between Chuck and Kurt. Job holding off Chuck Carter here for 12th. Chuck having a couple looks so far, but not able to get the move made.
Yeah, we saw Chuck Carter there on the start have an off track or some contact or something. Otherwise, he would be running well and truly inside the top 10, I think. So maybe a bit of a disappointing night for Chuck, but at least he's putting in a solid run here.
Yeah, point paying night nonetheless. Should things hold up here for Chuck? The battle for second now is raging as Moses now coming under big pressure here from Ronnie Nunez. Let's jump on board with Ronnie.
Yeah, there's a lot of laps to go. I don't think the lead is safe here for Ronnie Nunez. I'll be honest with you. Aaron Parsons, we can see him right there in the distance. No need for Ronnie to be terribly aggressive just yet. Have a few laps to go here, but he will want to try to get it done as quickly as he can. Get in the clean air and get after Aaron.
Having a look on the inside of Moses.
Boy, straightforward.
Very straightforward. Let's see what kind of straight line speed Moses has here going down the back straight. We might have him here going to the final corner. Nope, he backs off.
Wow, so, you know, these guys are thinking that, you know, they got their strategy, they're going to be sneaky, we'll go ahead and start on the mediums, try to get some early distance, you know, and then go the hard, yeah, whatever. Ronnie's saying, well, I'm just going to take 2 sets of mediums and beat you all.
Yes, they're turning the screws here. He's only 4 seconds off of Parsons for the out front, so...
That's what I'm saying. I don't think the lead's safe.
Yeah,
I mean, Ronnie picked up 6... Yeah, Ronnie picked up 6 seconds there from his stop to Chris Moses. So that, you know, that wasn't that long ago.
I wonder if that difference in the amount of fuel might have been it.
I think it's mostly down to the tires, Al. The lap-to-lap pace just better on the mediums.
Yeah, less laps on the mediums for Ronnie compared to Moses at this point.
Yep.
All right, so
and we didn't
pulling away from Moses, and he's got his sights set on the lead here with Parsons, which is not that far off.
Yeah, I was going to say, we didn't see Ronnie's pace start to drop until about lap 30, and he ran those tires all the way until lap 36, if memory serves.
So Parsons coming up on some lap traffic here. A bunch of cars just ahead of him. Well, so far tonight, from what we've seen, from my point of view anyway, lap traffic hasn't been much of an issue so far. These guys do a good job.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a little surprised by that, but absolutely, they've done a great job. It is a wide track, and so that does help quite a bit.
He's doing his best to make his way past some of these guys. It's been Chuck. He's got Hyman more to contend with, and I believe that is Greg Myers. So, man, what a difference in pace. To that pass, that gap now between Moses and Ronnie's at least 2 seconds.
Yeah, and it's about 3 seconds now, Ronnie Nunez to Eiran Parsons. 2.1 seconds.
So I apologize, we missed the pass as Preto has gotten past Mike Trussell for 5th. So Preto with the weight. Kilograms, he is having a great run here in the top 5.
Yeah, and he lays now about 11 seconds off of Matt Taylor, who we suspect did not get a chance to change those hard tires. Andre's on the mediums as well, so that's quite a distance to make up, 11 seconds, but I suppose if the tire differences are that great, he's got a shot.
Ronnie has picked up more time on Parsons as Parsons what he can to get past Jaime Moore. Parsons gets by. On board with Ronnie. Parsons may have lost a little bit of time on Ronnie trying to get past Jaime Moore. Ronnie looking to do the same. So Ronnie's going to get by. Okay, so here we go. It's a battle for the lead. 10 laps to go. It's going to go by very quickly here.
Well, Ronnie's picking up nearly a second per lap, so, you know, he's going to catch him early enough. If he gets by him early enough, he could end up winning this thing by about 10 seconds. Wow, remarkable. Well, guys are still getting these tires figured out in terms of length that they can run, and it has varied from track to track a little bit. So going forward, this is something these guys may want to put a little bit of extra thought into and try to run longer stints on both sets of the tires, see what they can get away with. Of course, Ronnie has not made the pass yet, has he, Al?
No, he has not. So Parsons, he's not going to come unglued here. fast. That's Greg. Greg taking it. Letting him pass. He's taking it off. Taking his car off track. But I was just going to say, Parsons has been in this situation hundreds of times, so that's someone who's going to be fazed by a late battle here for a win.
No, I've got actually a really good story about trying to phase Eiran Parsons early on in our NAGP careers, and I won't retell it, but what I did didn't work. Put it that way. Pretty unfazable. It's hard to stand up to lots and lots of speed. The guy behind you, you know.
What a night this would be for Parsons if he can come away with the win here on his home track.
Well, laps are winding down. Yeah, and this is the point in the race where you do not give up. You take some extra chances defending at this stage of a race.
Parsons coming up on some lap traffic. This is Sergio Calderon and Omar Gomez. And this is for position as these two guys battling for the final points paying position. Calderon just makes the pass on Omar. Very difficult spot for these guys to be in. Ooh, and Omar turns into Ronnie.
Well, that could be game over for Ronnie if he picked up some damage there.
So he picked up some damage, whether how significant the damage is, we'll find out here about that. It's certainly not going to help his chances. On board with Ronnie.
No!
Big hit over that curve.
Wow. Eiran just may do this, huh? Wow.
Yeah, I think that was it. Ronnie was right on his tail. And he had that contact with Omar. It's unfortunate, but that's how it goes sometimes. Chris Moses running here in third. He's not that far off of Nunez, but I don't think there's enough time for him to catch back up. So that lap traffic, I think, might have helped Moses here a little bit.
Yeah.
So just 4 laps to go here before this race is over. Trying to make friends, I should say. Alright, so looking back here, Trussler now under some pressure from John Houston. This is back in, where are those guys? Back in for 6th. So Trussler.
Yeah, Trussler not too far off Andres.
No, not at all. Could have been for John Houston. He could have been up here in the mix as well, as he was battling Nunez early on, but had an off that cost him dearly, shuffling him back to 7th. Pretty consistent after that, but it's like you said, Brad, those little mistakes, it's just so detrimental.
did hurt, and it looked like Houston at the time had Ronnie's measure as well.
Ronnie's starting to close up just a little bit more here.
Yeah, that gap 1.1 last time by, down from 1.4, 3/10 of a lap that last lap, and it's now going to be another about 3/10 of a second. So under 1 second to go. If we had DRS, then he would get a little boost from that, but we don't.
No DRS. No flappy wings.
Yeah, Andres has really dropped off the pace. I was interested in watching that. And he jumped onto the mediums.
Just picked up this battlefield with Houston now. That gap is now under a second.
Yeah, and Trussler is on the mediums as well, and so I think that they are going off at this point.
Is taking it off.
Ooh, Wappen running 10th.
Stay on board here with this battle with Houston. Looking on the inside of Trussler. Battle for 6. Ooh, we got a lap car.
Whoa.
Oh, looks like that's going to help Trussler as Houston had to make some evasive actions there, but let's jump back up front with our leader, Parsons.
Wow. Houston got the pass done around the outside.
Final lap here. This Matrix nearly turns into Parsons, but this gap now between Parsons and Nunez, just about a second with on the final lap here at Barbagallo. I don't think it's gonna happen. Go ahead, Brad.
And Houston made a mistake, let Trussler back through. Now they're fighting out the last corner, wheel to wheel. Houston will secure the pass again into turn 1. Important points for the T-Brock Dam Bam squad with teammate Aaron Parsons leading now.
Huge as Parsons now coming around the corner, the final corner here to take the win at Barbagallo, holding off Ronnie Nunez. Is Moses out of fuel? No, he's going to take third. Taylor's going to take fifth. And this battle between Houston and Trussler down to the last corner. Ooh, as Houston nearly threw it off. And Houston's going to hang on to sixth. Wow. What a night.
They swapped positions about 3 times on that last lap, Al.
Unreal. Now let me exit this here and get Parsons in here. I gotta save this replay. Let's see, where is he? Oh, there he is. Hold on. Aaron Parsons, do you copy?
I do, Al.
Hey, congratulations. Big victory. Keep the streak alive, even though you did have that win at Hungary taken away. But 5th different winner here in the Monday Night Series. And what a way to do it. Winning at your home track and edging out a hard-charging Ronnie Nunez there at the end, man. What was your pace like compared to his? It was kind of hard for us to tell, but it looked like he was really closing up some time on you there near the end.
Yeah, our pace was pretty similar, but even 1/10 of a second matters hugely at this track. I made 2 mistakes at turn 1. I almost lost control of the car with oversteer, and that allowed him to catch up, especially with the traffic. I think he got through the traffic in the second stint a bit better than me, so he was able to close down the gap, and he had me sweating bullets there at the end. I needed to really concentrate as much as I could to hold him off.
Yeah, well, you guys were on the limit, no doubt. Now, we saw some interesting strategy options play out among quite a few of the drivers. Some going long on the hards, taking short mediums. A lot of you guys starting early on the mediums and taking a longer stint hard. Ronnie, of course, went with mediums for both of his stints, running very long that first stint. Were these strategy options you had in place before the race, or did they come up on you on the fly?
We definitely did a lot of testing on both medium and hards this week, and there was like 4 or 5 different strategies we figured out, but we decided to go with the fast first stint on the mediums, and then try and establish a good position for ourselves in the race, and then switch to a long stint on the hards. But yeah, I think there's multiple viable strategies depending on where you are on the grid and your driving style and a whole bunch of factors.
Well, you got it down tonight for sure with you guys. Houston having a good run there. Had a bit of trouble there early in the first stint, but recovered nicely. Ended up finishing 6th, making a late pass on Trussell there in the final lap. So good points for T-Brock Dam Bam, and you guys carry some momentum into Montreal next week. So how do you think the car is going to manage around Montreal? I know you ran it in GT, but different animal in these cars, carrying that extra weight.
Yeah, I'm probably going to be in a tough position with the weight at Montreal. It's probably going to be a low downforce setup. Probably have to figure out a way to drive around the curbs rather than over them at that track. But yeah, props to Ronnie and Chris. Both had a really strong run tonight, and I got a lucky break when Ronnie hit the curb there. So that was really intense racing. Good job to those guys.
Well, congratulations, Eiran, and look forward to seeing you next week at Montreal. Congratulations again.
Thanks, guys.
All right, well, there you have it, Brad. What a crazy race here tonight. I mean, it was pretty intense out there. The way the strategies played out had us really guessing. Had a lot of points. Really interested to find out what happened with Taylor. So, going to see what went wrong, or if that was his strategy the whole time to double stint. It's going to be interesting to find out.
Yeah, I don't think it was quite a barn burner in the way that we expected this race to play out, but it was, I think Eiran talked about it, it was very intense driving up there among the top spots. He did mention traffic did come into play as well, and a pretty close finish really for all those guys with all the things that could happen at this track. And what it was a fight among the top teams too. So Team Formula winning, the only team that really kind of lost out here a little bit tonight with Alex White not being able to show, but Mike Trussler did a good job fighting as hard as he absolutely could. So as good as could be expected, I think, for that team as well. Good race, and Montreal is going to be another possible shakeup for these teams. They're going to have to be prepared and ready to go.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough track there, like Eiran said, on the curbs, especially the final chicane and the Wall of Champions. It's going to be really interesting to see how guys manage that. So we'll be back next week, next Monday night, for round 6. From the mentioned Montreal circuit. It's going to be a good one, so make sure you guys tune in for that one. Until next week, we will be live from Vallelunga Thursday night in GT. So Ken Rodriguez will be bringing you the race live from that event, so that should be a good one as well. But until next week, thanks, Brad, and thanks everybody for tuning in. We'll talk to you soon.